Coffee. It keeps my soul black as can be. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Sarah French and Joe Knetter. Wow!
You write something on my face.
Sarah and Joe, how are you?
Hello.
Well, first of all, I have to say, what bodily fluid is pink that you were throwing all over yourself? It was a little pink.
It is a little pink. I have an affinity for some of the old kung fu films that were so brightly colored. Sometimes they come in as magenta and pink.
Okay, I figured it was a mix of blood and cum.
Pretty close. You got to keep it organic.
Yep. It's a Guar thing.
Yeah, there you go. All hail the mighty Guar. How are you guys? Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
We are well. We're enjoying sunny California.
Well, we just got back from the desert yesterday after a much needed break. Sometimes you just need that break to relax and chill. And now we're back ready.
We spent 5 days in the desert with our good friends Marcel Walls and his husband Dominic.
Nice.
And it's great. You bury yourself out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. You see the stars. You hear crickets and the sex sounds. They just kind of reverberate through the canyons and let everybody know that it's time to have fun. They weren't my sex sounds.
The sex sounds of the werewolves and the
road runners and the little lizards. And no, it's the thing about LA is it's great to get out every so often and just recharge somewhere else. And we just wrapped a movie that has been the last 2.5 months of our lives. So it was nice to just get away and decompress. And now we're back at it. We're back in LA looking for the next thing.
Yes.
Ready to work some more.
Yes.
Nice. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, you guys don't seem to slow down at all. So I'm glad you were able to recharge the battery out in the desert amongst all the the chirpy sex sounds. Some sex sounds there.
Yeah. The sex sounds weren't really chirpy. I mean, that was the crickets, but typically crickets always sound when I'm having sex.
Like rubbing some legs together. Oh yeah.
No. It's only legs getting rubbed together. But yeah, it's exciting. We love Colorado.
Yeah. We can't wait to have you guys out at Colorado Festival of Horror.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's going to be September 9th through the 11th. Yeah, we can't wait to have you guys out. It's going to be a blast.
We're looking forward to it too. And this is your year 2 there, right?
Yep.
Second year. Great.
Second year. Yeah. Oddly enough, Colorado doesn't really have, or before us, hasn't really had a substantial horror convention. We've got Mile High Horror Film Fest and Telluride Horror Show, but not a convention for fans to really get involved and interact with their favorite horror stars like you guys.
Well, we are stars. That's true.
Most definitely. So for everybody out there, tell us a little bit about yourself. Sarah, if we can start with you. How did you get into filmmaking? What was your inspiration?
Honestly, looking back, I've always been into entertaining people, especially family and friends when I was younger. I would put on little plays and shows for my family, and they'd come from out of town, and that's just what we did. I grew up on a farm, so we didn't have cable, we didn't have internet, nothing like that. So we kind of just had to entertain ourselves. So I've always just enjoyed entertaining family and with plays and little shows, and it kind of followed me into my teenage years. I would make like short films and things like that with my friends in high school.
Nice.
So when other kids were doing drugs and drinking and having a blast like this guy.
Good old Joe. He looks like the party animal.
He is.
Yep. I'm actually only 23 years old. This is what hard partying does to you.
I would be making, I'd be making films and things like that with my friends. So, and then that followed me into my adulthood. And in 2006, I decided to look up online casting calls for films, and I found one for Pajama Party Massacre, this short film being shot in Minnesota, and this guy was the writer and he played the killer in the film. So that's kind of where it all started.
Yep. And at the time she was going to school for criminal justice. She was really close to graduating, and then she saw me and went, nope. That's what I need in my life.
That's a whole long story. That was just a small little gist of it.
Yeah. That's so upon meeting you, completely deterred from that course of life, huh? It's like, oh.
Well, I've always been a fan of horror. Like since I was a kid, since I was like 5 years old, I was watching horror films. Cool. So I've always been a fan. I always wanted to be that girl, half naked, running through the woods, beaten up, bloody, either killing someone or someone killing me. I always wanted that. And now I've had that, I don't know how many times.
Yeah. It'd be nice if she has it in a movie for once, though. Instead of our random dates.
Yeah.
No,
but it's always it's always been my thing, and that's where it all started, was in horror, and that's kind of what led me to where I am today.
Nice.
I still love horror. I love doing horror films. I love doing all films, but horror is like my cup of tea. I love it.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And Joe, you've always been, just writing or creating, or how did you get into that?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because looking back, it obviously started much earlier for me than I, for the most part, even remember. I mean, I grew up reading Stephen King. Like I was 6 years old reading Stephen King, listening to Metallica. I just always was drawn to that more than anything. Luckily for me, I had a grandma, my Nana, and my Uncle Mike that loved horror as well. So they would expose me to it and let me watch it. They rent all the movies for me. And it was just weird. It probably comes from my mom. My mom was young when she had me, and she was a nurse at the state mental hospital in Minnesota when I was a kid. So she'd come home from the shifts and tell me stories about the people. And I've always been just fascinated by darkness. So I didn't really actually jump into writing too much, though, until I got much older. I got in trouble when I was in middle school for writing a story about my whole family dying. And I had to see a shrink for a while. I thought it was funny, the whole thing, but they took it a different way. And that kind of interested me at the time because I went, oh, I kind of made a mark of that. That impacted people because I was a very shy kid. I didn't talk to anybody. I was quiet. I kept to myself mostly. And as I got older, I had a daughter at 19. You settle into the regular life. You got to pay bills. You got to do this. And actually through the Fangoria message board, I discovered people posting about horror, and I could finally have my horror group because I grew up in a small town in Minnesota, and there wasn't a lot of horror fans.
Same.
She grew up tiny town too in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So eventually I started learning, there's conventions. There's people that like horror. There's, it's okay to be this way. And I found a thing online where people were looking for stories for a short story collection. So I wrote 4, and they took all 4 of them. And at that moment I was like, okay, it's as long as one person reads something I wrote, I'm a success, and nothing else really matters. So I had fun with it. And then was lucky enough through conventions to get to meet a lot of people like Sid Haig and stuff that kind of took me under their wing and took me out with them. And I made a lot of contacts, and then gradually moved from writing fiction into screenplays, mainly horror. But I've got a bunch of books out. I think the only book I'll probably bring to Colorado Festival of Horror is I Survivor, the book I wrote with Adam Green. It's the Hatchet book. I'm super proud of that one.
It's really great.
I did just get a deal for my novel Zombie Bukkake in Japan. But I don't know if I'll have copies of that there or not. And I was lucky enough to meet Sarah. Like, we were friends for a couple of years. I kind of looked at her because I had more experience at the time, and she was younger. And
I had no idea what I was doing.
She was naive.
I had no friends I didn't know anybody in the industry. I didn't know what anything was about, how to do anything, how to go about anything. And
she's so fucking nice.
I was just like the cast. It was a casting call for Pajama Party Mask for the short film. Yeah. And we met at a cafe, and we just had a conversation. I was with the filmmakers, and we just talked for hours on end. And they said, "You are Jennifer. Like, we love your attitude. We love your enthusiasm. We love everything about you. You're hired. You're Jennifer." And I was just like, "Oh my God, is this really how this works?"
Yeah. And then but I saw right away that she was someone that, at least back then, small town girl, wasn't exposed to the world in certain ways. And unfortunately, we're in an industry where there can be really shitty people.
Right.
And so I kind of took her under my wing as friends mainly. And actually it weirdly shifted for us at the convention in Colorado, where I just noticed when we were sitting there hanging out in a party, her eyes shifted. And they went from the friendly gaze of someone who respects their peers to a woman that was deeply wanting a big slice of the Knetter pie. And I didn't serve it to her. I'll be honest, I didn't.
I had to work for it.
She had been drinking, and it wasn't right to do it when she had been drinking, because that's the guys.
That's a gentleman.
Those are the guys I had warned her about. So I wasn't going to be one of those guys.
Right.
So.
Oh wow. So
once I pumped her stomach and the alcohol was out, then I went in.
Yeah, very gentlemanly. Yeah.
We're weird people.
No, but we,
Starfest.
I started my career with him, and we've been on a journey together, like a long journey together, and it's been an amazing one.
We went a number of years where we actually didn't work on movies together.
No,
because I would do my thing, she did her thing. It wasn't until Blind presented itself with an opportunity where I was like, okay, I can write something for her now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have been creatively very supportive of each other, but now you're working a little bit more creatively together. How does that change the relationship?
Well,
just
no.
Okay,
do you want us to sugarcoat it or no?
Oh, I tend to find if I have a wonderful part for her to play, I get more booty. But no, it's listen, we get along really well.
We work really well together.
We have fun. I know how to write for her very well, and we just like to have fun. We take everything as it's ridiculous we get to do this. Yeah. So we should make it fun, even though it's stressful, quite stressful all the time, really. Because contrary to what everybody thinks, there's not a lot of money.
No,
like people think.
And it's a constant hustle.
So the fact that we can pay our bills for us is a win.
Yeah.
It's a win.
Cool. Yeah.
And when we can come together with friends, which we have with, Blind was just a group of friends, or Taco Tuesday friends that one day said, listen, we got time. Let's make a movie.
Well, and another thing we learned out here is if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. Okay. Nobody else will do it for you.
Yeah.
You have to go for it, and you have to work with what you got.
Yeah.
And you really have to push yourself.
Yeah. So
it's so hard.
Yeah, so I masturbate a lot because if I'm going to get it done myself, I'm just so much quicker and better than
You're an orchestra of one, huh?
Yeah.
The old skin flute.
No, it's. I mean, it's crazy. Listen, we just like to have fun, and it's amazing that I've put up with her this long. If we really break it down, because
I'm a tough one to deal with, guys. Just FYI.
It's a challenge, but I'm probably more tough because
he is difficult. That's for sure.
I'm very quirky. I have things going on.
Yeah,
he's very OCD.
I'm very OCD about some things,
but he's made me OCD.
I have.
Oh yeah, so some good traits have rubbed off on you apparently.
Our place is very clean. Let's put that way.
And I could tell you do have an homage.
Everything's organized.
To Pretty Boy back there.
Yeah, our buddy.
Speaking of which, I think Jed has been chiming in. Hey, does that mean?
Oh, it's Jed. That's Pretty Boy himself.
Oh yes.
And if you've seen him in Blind, wait till you see Pretty Boy. Blind was our slow burn 70s drama made for TV thriller type thing.
Okay.
Pretty Boy is our 80s slasher. It's very 80s.
We should give him the story about how we met Jed and everything.
We met Jed in Colorado.
Yes.
Actually.
Oh, was it at the Starfest?
Yep.
Yes.
No kidding.
We struck up a friendship, and then when we moved to LA in 2015, the first month we lived here, we ran into him 3 times at random places. Not events,
which is extremely random because this place is so big.
Yeah, he was stalking us. He was stalking us for sure. There's no way around. We should
write a movie about this.
We should. Don't get on that.
No, so I mean, Jed was. We like to look at things as the world presents opportunities. You have to see them. Yeah. So the fact that we bumped into him so much for us was like, okay, this is somebody saying we need to cement a friendship.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful to get to do Blind with him because it's a role he's certainly played slashers before, but this one was different. Blind is it's personal, it's slow burn. It's a different kind of slasher.
Yeah. Most definitely. I love the idea that group of friends got together, made a film. I think that's the funnest type of thing that a group of friends can do, is do a creative project together, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And as a part of the audience, watching it, and as I mentioned off camera before we went on, I watched it again this morning to kind of refamiliarize myself. It's like, the topic is really quite it's very much kind of a present theme in today's culture, with women and vulnerability as well, also disability too, and that level of vulnerability, and having this guy come into your personal space and just kind of be a voyeur. I was just like sitting there, it's like, oh crap, I forgot, how much anxiety this movie gave me. Yeah. So
and that was really our hope with it was we kind of called it not a home invasion, but a home visitation. And that he's really just kind of always there.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie came from actually Marcel Walls, the director. He had a dream that he was shooting a movie in his house about a blind girl and a guy watching her. And we actually wrapped the movie 5 weeks to the day after that dream. We went from the dream to wrapping in 5 weeks. And we knew on the budget we had, because we didn't have much of a budget.
Yeah.
We had to control the space. And we said no jump scares. We didn't want jump scares. We wanted to just build tension and make you uncomfortable. Certainly about halfway through the shoot, we realized, well, this might be a character people respond to. So when we began discussing sequels at that point, we knew that the sequel would need to move more into the horror world, especially when we got the mask and costume nationwide deal with Trick or Treat Studios. We have an action figure coming. We didn't expect any of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially with Blind, because then people go into it going, oh, it's a slasher. And it really isn't.
Yeah, not with Blind. Yeah.
So we really brought the slasher with Pretty Boy.
Okay.
And we'll do even more so with the next two, provided we get the funding to continue.
Oh man. So yeah, this is going to be just a big, franchise, little indie franchise. Man, that's awesome.
We're hoping.
We have a whole, a whole story. We need to finish the story.
Okay.
And we need to learn where Pretty Boy also comes from too, and why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And we need to finish out my story.
Yeah, the first movie was very much giving you some insight on Faye, and the second one's really insight on Pretty Boy, and then the third is kind of where they come together, and we see the clash,
the dichotomy, and the different worlds. And
so it was wonderful for writing that role. I mean, because Marcel's a fantastic director. He's easy to work with. He's just amazing. Cool. Him and I just did our third movie together, and that's the fourth movie you've done with him. So
wow,
it's always a pleasure to work with him. Each movie, I understand him a little better and what he likes to do. So it's fun to play in that world. And it's wonderful to give her roles that maybe when you do come up through the indie world as the indie scream queen, the blood, guts, boobs, you may not get serious roles. You may get typecast. So for me, it was great to give her a role that I knew she would be great at, that maybe no one else would. And the thing was, she had to kill it, because automatically anything she's in that I write, 50% of people go, oh, she got that because she's sleeping with the writer. And sleeping with the writer is pretty much all she does. There's not much sex going on.
There's not much that needs to happen, right?
But but she sleeps for sure, and that's all right. But there's a pressure on her then to perform, because people are gonna judge her based on it. And I mean, she killed it. Blind was my love letter to her, that character.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was an absolute pleasure bringing Faye to life, and learning about her and everything she goes through. It's such a roller coaster of emotions. It's such a wonderful character to bring to life. It's almost every actor's dream, because we get to do so much throughout both films.
Yeah.
I get to show so many different emotions through both films.
And the fantastic thing is the Colorado Festival of Horror audience that is currently watching this or will be watching this will get a chance to see both films Friday night at the show.
Back to back.
Blind at 7 and the Colorado premiere of Pretty Boy at 9. It's
great watching it back to back, because this Pretty Boy takes place right after Blind.
Yeah. And Jed Rowan will be coming out with us.
Yes.
So you'll have Pretty Boy hanging out as well. And I believe he's bringing the costume. So he'll do some pictures in the costume.
Oh, man. Well, that'll be great. We'll have all kinds of colorful people there. I mean, we've got Art the Clown's going to be there, and then Enigma. So basically, it's like the indie, action figure place set here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. For me, it's great because I love slashers. I grew up on slashers, but there haven't been a ton of ones that have really took off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I feel we're kind of in a new wave where people are going to start creating them again, and hopefully they find their audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Certainly Terrifier has. We hope with the release of Pretty Boy finds the bigger audience, and also the movie, which we can't talk too much about, we just shot, is another slasher.
Ooh.
It's a giallo. It's like if American Horror Story did a giallo slasher.
Nice.
Marcel was like a pig in shit, just having fun with
great.
the colors and the beauty, and there should be more news about that later. But
man, that's going to be awesome.
Super happy with that one.
That's one thing I liked about Blind, is like the color palette, the lighting and everything. And now that you bring up the fact that kind of speaks to like a 70s TV suspense film, it's like that makes a lot of sense.
He really wanted the blues because it's a sad movie.
Yeah.
Whereas with Pretty Boy, we move a little bit more into love because it takes place on Valentine's Day. So there's a lot of pinks and reds in that, but his color palettes he chooses are always
spot on,
amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I write things and they go off to somebody and I just assume they're going to be shit. But with Marcel, it's great because we get to work together on set, and we have a vision together of trying to create something that we're all. Yep, there's Jed chiming in. He's meaning right now. He's not. He's wearing it right now.
He probably is. He's probably watching it, and just we can feel his voyeuristic eyes on us.
But I appreciate you watching Blind too,
thank
because
you so much.
We're proud of it. I mean, we're proud of what we pulled off. We won a shitload of awards.
Mm-hmm.
We sold it to 20 some territories. We've done well with it, and we think Pretty Boy will do even better.
Once it gets released, hopefully
it's definitely a
this
bigger
year.
company releasing it. So, we start with a little bit of showing a little bit of Blind in the beginning to bring people up to speed, because we know a lot of the audience will come into it having not seen Blind.
Yeah.
So we're stoked. That was a fun one. I also got to write or something last year. We did a space adventure movie, an old school Battle Beyond the Stars, Star Crash space adventure movie with Michael Pare. Directed by Gato Setian, who did Automation, which Sarah was in.
Nice.
Super stoked about that one too, because I love space adventures, and most people now put out a space adventure, and it's not really like the classic space adventures. It's a monster or something. So this one is all in on a classic space adventure movie.
Nice. Is Sarah, for that, are you like playing some kind of space Valkyrie?
Right.
Sort of. I mean, she has multiple fight scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I get to do all my own fight scenes in the film, and which I'm very happy about, because that's hard work, doing your own fight choreography.
Michael Pare plays her dad, and they're two space scavengers looking to get some money and encounter some not so good people.
Yeah. Wow.
And I have to take care of business.
Yes.
That's
Dad is also in that one as the Mighty Manx. A
Yes.
really funny character.
Man, that sounds like so much fun. So can I ask when that's coming out, or is there plans yet?
No, it's in post right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of CGI. I mean, that was the biggest thing going into it. I was worried about was just the amount of CGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the director, Garo, said, listen, you're going to be fine. Trust me. And the stuff I've seen has been great.
Oh my God.
It
It looks
great.
so good. We are so happy.
And she gets a kick ass. One of the fight scenes that we shot for 6 hours straight in the desert for one fight scene of her.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I love that shit. And, I've, working in indie film, it's kind of gotten me ready for this, because we always do usually all our own stunts. Like I say light stunts, because if I say stunts, they're going to throw you off a building. And I'm okay.
Yeah. And that's my job.
Yeah. Well, you also have stature too. Yeah.
It's scary. I mean, I've been doing this since 2006, and I've always just done my own light stunts and things like that. So I can sell punches. I can sell getting punched. It's the little things that make a difference. Right. So I just went full in on the fight choreography. We spent, days getting ready for it and preparing for it. And I'm very happy with what we did. And I can't wait for everyone to see it. I'm very excited.
The problem I have is I'm getting older and she's getting tougher, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah.
Gets out of line. Hey, Sarah, with doing stunt work like that, how does one prepare? Are you going to the gym? Do you have a trainer that walks through all that?
Honestly, you just have to be like strong. Like, I mean, I've been doing like cross training, and I hike all the time. I'm very active.
She does the sledgehammer to tires, flipping tires over. She does all that shit.
I mean, I'll push sleds across the fields back and forth that weigh like hundreds of pounds. I'll flip things that weigh more than me. Like, I like a challenge. I'm not weak. I'm strong. I'm tough. I'm like, just give it to me. I'll take the punch. I'll give the punch. Like, I love that shit. Any kind of fight choreography, stunt stuff, I I live for it.
And for that one in particular, you did go to a stunt school for a day where they walked you through some stuff.
We went to Vegas. It was great Vegas stunt school that we went to. You know, we spent the day there. And then my co-star, Tyler Gallant, he's done a lot of like stunt stuff before. He's very fit and active as well. So we worked very well together.
Yeah, they rehearsed ahead of time with some of the moves.
Yep.
And
cool.
So we basically had it all planned out, but then once you get to the location, things kind of change depending on the area, you know, the ground and, you know, what we have to work with. But we were able to do what we, you know, planned on doing.
She loves it though. She goes hiking every day. She works out.
I'm very active. I'm very fit. Like I've been doing this a long time. And it's funny too, because I did another movie with Michael Prey called Bridge of the Doomed. And there was a scene in that movie where Prey's character grabs me and he has to like pull me away from these zombies. And he's like, so this is when he's such a gentleman and I love Michael. Like he's just the best. So he's like, okay, so in this scene, you know, I'm going to be grabbing you like this. Is that okay? Like, I'm like, Michael, just give it to me. Like grab me, throw me, do whatever, you know. And then he did, and he's like, "Oh, you're strong. I'm not weak, so I can take it."
She's not weak.
Yeah.
So it was just great because he's like most actresses can't handle that. Like they're very, you know. And so it was pretty funny. It was a funny moment for me.
That's awesome. You know, Joe, when you sit down to write a script, like specifically for this, you know, sci-fi, space adventure film, you know, how do you sit down and just, you know, work through, you know, the script? What's your creative process for something like that?
That one was a little different because Garo and I worked on the treatment, so we'd have a good treatment before jumping in. Normally, I don't work with treatments. I like to just go. So for that one, it was a lot of writing scenes, talking to Garo, seeing what he wanted, and you know, and just kind of rolling with the punches. Especially, there were a lot of notes from different people on that one constantly. Whereas the other ones, like Pretty Boy, I wrote in 2 days. It was beginning to end. It took me 2 days to write it. So those are ones where I more just sit down and Marcel and I will discuss a little bit of what we're thinking we want to do, and then I can just go. I tend to write really fast. I don't have the note cards everywhere like some people do where I'm trying to follow things. I just go. I like to go beginning to end because I find if I get sidetracked, I'm not going to ever get back on it. So,
okay.
Usually I'm inspired. I mean, I'm known for my speed. I write fast.
Very fast.
And quality.
Yeah.
You know, opposite of my lovemaking. It's slow and terrible.
But yeah, the
comment
is where you take the break. Gotta pace
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But
I've always been able to write fast. Like even when I was just doing fiction, there were times we'd go to conventions and I'd be taking my books out, and she's like, "Well, what book is that?" I said, "I forgot to tell you, I wrote one 2 weeks ago." So I had something new at the convention. And,
isn't that funny? But it's great because I'd be like, "Oh,
that's
and
amazing!
It's so well written." I'm just like, "Holy shit, this is great!" When did you come up with this?
You know, when you're putting out a book like that. Oh, you know. Oh, by the way, I just knocked it. Like, I forgot about that. How thick is that? You know, is it like like a 300 page? You know,
it depends. Like that one in particular was a novella, so it was like 105 pages.
Yeah.
You know, a novel like Zombie Bukkake, I wrote basically in 10 days. And that's novel length. And it just, I don't know. I write quick. It's part of my spectrum side, I like to call it, where I just know how to do that. I find if I take too much time, I overthink things.
Okay.
And then I start changing things. And there's a point where you're making changes where it's no longer getting better. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like spontaneity. I like pressure. You know, even if I get a gig and I have 3 weeks to write a script, I'm going to wait till the last 4 days.
I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just watching YouTube videos. But that's his process.
Every day I go, okay, today I'm going to start. And then I'll be like, well, no, I need to watch YouTube today and find where monarch butterflies are more prevalent. Is it Minnesota or is it South Dakota? And then that's my day.
That's a thing. A lot of writers are actually like that.
Yeah.
It's a process.
I like the pressure. And certainly it's always worked well for me. I mean, during the course of the time I wrote Blind, in the same 10-day stretch I wrote Blind, a werewolf movie called Desert Moon that stars Sarah and Richard Grieco that hasn't came out yet. And then I co-wrote Twilight of the Dead. I had an opportunity to finish George Romero's last zombie script that he was working on when he passed away. So in that 10-day period, it was all three of them. And that's the worst 10-day period I've had, where it was really, that was a lot. I was pretty fucking stressed.
Yeah, but what came out of that was just simply amazing.
And, you know, things are looking up for the Twilight of the Dead movie. We're hoping to hear news soon on that, because that was, I mean, to take the treatment he had co-wrote with Paolo Zaletti, one of the other co-writers, and then Robert Lucas joined us, to see that treatment in the beginning of the script, and then all the videos Paul had 10 hours of videos of George and him in the pool talking about the movie, and to be put in the position of having to help finish that, which is the definitive end of his Dead saga. This was it. This is how he wanted it to end.
Yeah.
It was amazing, but it was a weird feeling every day.
Right.
But you guys killed it.
Well, of course we did.
Well,
it's 'cause we have no ego.
That sounds amazing. We can't wait to hear more about that project, and of course the werewolf project. Man, that sounds like an exciting 10
The
days.
werewolf was the fun. She plays one of the leads in that too, and that's a very sexy role.
I feel like it's species. It's werewolves.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is in a way.
And Richard Grieco was great. He came in and played with us. Thomas Haley directed that one.
Nice.
It's still in post, so I'm not sure. I haven't heard updates in a while, but we're proud of that one too. It's everything I write for her. I want it to be different role.
And they've all been different.
This can be a sexy one. This can be the blind actress in peril. This can be the tough chick.
Yep.
The newest one, I wouldn't say you're a bitch in it, but you're an honest person.
I'm very stern.
I love it. You're on the cusp of being a bitch, but
man, that sounds great.
Many people can relate to the character. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
This makes it seem like we're the same height. I don't like this.
I know he's much taller than me. He's 6'3". I'm like 5'4".
Oh yeah. Joe, do you need some pillows?
No. I'm 46. I'm sitting on 2 right now.
Oh, are you? Yeah. Me too. I'm 45.
They called my balls.
Us old guys need to stay together, and get our hemorrhoid pillows,
This is just a little idea what we're going to be like at Colorado.
Yeah, just if anybody's experienced for the first time, this is just how we are in real life. This is how
That's right. Don't worry.
This will be the Q&A and everything.
I'm the director of Bengay, so I will apply ointment as needed.
Okay.
I'm wearing most of it, I'm pretty sure.
I like Bengay. I've
We're all about that.
Yeah. We've got some folks chiming in here.
Let's see. Chris.
Awesome, Joe. He seems to be really impressed with your work ethic. To me, for both of you, it seems like it takes so much dedication, to your craft. And Sarah, for the physicality of some of your roles, having to work out all the time, and Joe, your approach of YouTube, and then last minute getting those assignments.
It's the mental preparation that goes into it, and I have to feel the right way to work.
Yep.
You got to be attuned, to what what you're gonna work.
You can't just write.
No.
I mean,
I've never been a writer that does I write every day. Mm-hmm. I go through a long time, and like everybody, I have my streaks where I'm like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna write something again, and then things happen, and it's like, oh fuck, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, Marcel. Sarah and I are we're currently pitching 7 projects around town that we have ready to go. So, you know, and you have to do that. You pitch 7, hoping 1 goes.
Right.
You know, we're hoping when Pretty Boy comes out, that'll give us some really solid press and open a few more doors. But it's the waiting, you know.
It is. The waiting is the hardest part.
We initially thought it was coming out for Valentine's Day, and then it was maybe September, and now we're not even sure. September. But
we still have hope.
We have hope.
Yes.
We believe.
Yes.
We believe in it. And we'll continue just making other things.
Yep. We'll continue to work and, you know, not give up. And you just have to keep going for the gold and keep
going.
Keeping. Yeah, keep going.
I quit. I'm done.
Weird question. You know, what if, you know, you've seen like in popular culture now that, you know, fans will, you know, get together and really hammer distribution companies and stuff. It's like, hey, release this cut, release that cut, you know. Would something like that help to secure a firm release date, you know, for Pretty Boy? I don't know.
For a movie like Pretty Boy, probably not. It's just going to fit into their schedule. And I don't think we could have the audience in a big enough way to do that. I mean, you're talking millions of people signing things and pressuring and
that's more for like the bigger studios.
Yeah, for us it's just waiting and again, it's only been not even 2 years since we shot the movie, and that's normal for a movie to come out.
But we've had it done for a good year and a half. That's the problem.
We end up like Marcel's quick with the post.
Fast.
So even the movie we just wrapped now will probably premiere end of October. We'll have a premiere in LA, so it'll be done by then.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And Blind, we did a full festival run, and Pretty Boy we didn't do as much because we'd pre-sold it. We had distribution in place prior to making it.
Nice.
So we didn't do quite the large run. And we also knew Blind was a movie that was meant for film festivals. It's a movie that they'll eat up, and it shows the style and what we do together. Pretty Boy was more a horror fan base.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing the reaction in Colorado. It's always nice to see it with a new group of people.
Yeah, we can't wait for that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of awesome, really awesome. You know, to see that that immediate response, right? I find that so rewarding. You know, to be in there with a group and just see how everybody interacts.
It's such a great feeling.
Yeah,
it's such a great feeling.
The only tough parts for me is like Pretty Boy certainly isn't a comedy. There's a few comedic beats, but anytime there's comedy stuff, that's the hardest as a writer because you just don't know whether it's going to land. And you also never know. Like we've had audiences that laughed at certain jokes in Pretty Boy that I didn't think were that funny, and meanwhile, the stuff I thought was funny, they just were. It was crickets. It was like when we have sex. It was just that, to come back full circle and bring it up. But
you need an audience with a scorecard. You know, it's like I need a little direction here. What are we doing?
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, we'll be in there when they play the movie.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
We'll watch it with everybody. Hopefully, there's all the seats are filled and we have to stand in the back. That would be wonderful.
That would be amazing.
We'll get that. We'll make that happen. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will.
Yes.
And then I think Marcel will be out with us, and then Jed, right?
Jed is. Marcel
sure.
Unfortunately got a gig.
Fortunately.
Unfortunately for people there,
but good.
Fortunately for him and everybody else, he got a TV gig, so he's going to be doing a TV show. So he won't be able to make it now. So it's going to be Jed, Sarah, and I, and
but we'll hold down the fort.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Definitely 3 of us will fit behind the table better than 4.
That's okay. Well, if anything happens, just hold your hands and click your heels, 3 times, and well, you'll still be in the food court. Sorry.
Yeah. I like food courts.
Yeah. Excuse me, a little dry throat. We can't wait to have you guys out, and we've just got a few more minutes, but briefly, Sarah, I wanted to talk about Barry. About that fun
Barry, which Joe is in as well.
Oh man, yeah, Joe and Sarah, that was such a fun, ridiculous movie. I had such a good time watching that, and you guys were in it, and then Sherry Davis. Yeah,
she was great. I mean, I had such a blast making that movie. Like, it was just so much fun going through all the speed dates and dealing with all the different personalities in the film, and my boss in the movie. And Sherry was so great to work with. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
And I played a creep, so big stretch.
The funny thing is, he hates acting, and everyone always asks him to be in their movies, and
I'm a terrible actor, and I understand I'm a terrible actor. If only when I talk. If I have to look like an asshole, I can do that. I can look like a prick, but don't have me say words. That's a problem I have.
He can't stand it, but he's so good. Like in Barry, I thought he did a really great job, playing the weirdo creep. Date.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's writers for you. They're great.
Yeah.
Weirdo creeps. I think we are.
Exactly.
Somebody's got to do it. I find that the older I get, though, now, especially now since I added the glasses, I really look like a creep. Like some of the same jokes I used to make, I can't anymore because it feels real.
Yeah. True. Sometimes it hits too close to home.
Like this, if I'm just like sitting at a restaurant and I'm staring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. It's not uncomfortable at all. Yeah, but please stop peering through my soul.
That's what I say every night.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
You should mention you've got 2 other movies coming out soon.
Yes,
right?
I have a movie called Death Count. That one is coming out next Tuesday, actually, July 19th.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that one.
With
and then
Costas Mandylor and Michael Madsen.
Nice.
Yeah, that was.
I think I've seen that online. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've been promoting the hell out of it. So that's going to come out on streaming, as well as I believe it's going to have a DVD, possibly
limited theatrical,
Blu-ray release, and limited theatrical. So we'll hear more on that soon.
And
Dawn. Yes, and Dawn, a movie, another movie I did. That one's coming out August 6th, I believe.
Oh, cool. Wow.
That's another horror film. That's a rideshare gone bad, basically. So Jared Cohen stars in that one, and we're excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
I think we've all had those weird, creepy rideshare stories.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually the guy that's trying to strike up the conversation, and most everybody else in the car is not wanting to interact. So
it's an interesting thing, though, the whole ride share and how that developed into people just having random people taking places.
Yeah,
right? It is, if you really think about it.
But you have to have it in LA because the public transport here in LA is terrible. So and we share a car.
Yes.
So
sometimes going to those eateries where you have like shared tables and stuff, and I find that a little bit easier because people's guards are down because they're eating food and they're enjoying stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to strike up a conversation. And that's
tough for me though because the beard, I get so much food in there when I'm eating that it's weird, and I reach a point where I'm just like
starter.
I reach a point where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not going to keep picking it up. I'm going to wait till the end. So it's just shit's everywhere in there.
It's like, no, seriously, that's horseradish. It's not what that is. It's not natural made.
I knew how much stuff got stuck in there.
Joe, what projects of your do you have coming out too? Is it Pretty Boy at this point, or
there's Pretty Boy. I wrote a Christmas horror film called The Nutcracker. That I think is going to come out around Christmas time.
Sweet.
For Jeff Miller produced that. It's got I can't think of the guy's name now. I'm Sleeping with the Eminent.
Corbin.
No.
Patrick
Bergen is the star of that one.
Patrick Bergen, nice.
It's a horror version of The Nutcracker.
Cool.
So I think that'll come out. Pretty Boy, we have The Space Adventure as well. And then I co-wrote in a more action type movie that should be in production soon. So
Cool.
you never know when things are going to pop up.
We're constantly promoting everything. So
The new movie we shot is going to be wonderful.
yes, I can't wait.
That is a straight horror comedy. So that'll be a very stressful for me. But, otherwise, what else do we got? We have 2 books on paranormal. We wrote 2 paranormal books together on our paranormal journeys through
Cool.
Waverly Hills and Salem.
Yeah.
So,
Are you going to be bringing those to COFOH as well?
I don't think so.
Probably
no.
I don't know. Maybe not. I haven't decided yet what I want to bring because, to be honest, she outshines me. I end up just being the one collecting the money and handing her Sharpies. And people assume I'm the security guy that's there with her, and it's whatever. I'm fine with it. I don't care.
We will definitely have plenty of merch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have posters, pictures.
Yeah.
Like I said, the I Survivor, the book I wrote with Adam Green, the Hatchet book from Victor Crowley, I'll have there for sure. Maybe some nude pictures of me, depending on if it's
most likely
if it's allowed or not. Those are going to have to be 11 by 17s though.
Yeah, we can, for all the naughty bits, we can just, put the Post-it notes, just in case the family comes by or something like that. Yeah.
And then they can lift it up.
Yeah, it's like, ooh,
peek underneath.
It's interactive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're laughing, not realizing I actually have a nude picture I bring to convention.
He does.
Ooh. I can't wait to see it then.
I won't have it in Colorado. Once the world kind of changed in regards to some things you can joke about and not joke about.
Right.
I had to retire that picture.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
People started getting offended by it. Mainly by the sheer size of it.
Man. Oh, jeez. Donald's asking if there's going to be Zombie Pirates merch.
She actually may have some 8x10s of that. She's always got a book with some older stuff in it.
This is true. I actually might have some.
Which is how the naked picture of me became a thing, because people would look in the book, and she had topless pictures of that, and people would spend half an hour looking through that book. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if in the middle of it we put a naked picture of me just to see the reactions?
That'd be
nice. The first person to look at it bought it, and I was like, "Well, there's the joke's gone." She'll probably have Zombie Pirates. You'll probably have that there. A couple of them in one of those.
It looked like Brett said that you sent him one of those pics.
Oh yes, yes.
Which one? The nude one? Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah, as you
it's on the resume.
That's the neighborly thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, let's just get it out of the way.
Yep, most definitely. Man, that's so awesome, guys. You guys are constantly doing stuff. You're creative powerhouse couple. I freaking love it. I can't wait to see more of your work come out. Make sure to send us information and stuff to promote when things are becoming available, so that we can help out, get the word out and everything.
I will say, you can see behind us Pretty Boy.
Yeah,
that is the Trick or Treat Studios mask and costume. I believe if you want to just order the mask, it's $15. So if anybody wants to buy a mask to bring to have Jed and everybody sign,
that's a great idea.
It's a fairly cheap way to do it. I think the mask is like $14.99 on Trick or Treat,
and it's really good quality. It's
creepy.
And it's creepy.
Creepy mask in that film, and man, in person, that is going to be creepy as fuck.
Yeah, Ken Hall did our mask. He did the masks for The Strangers and Puppet Master, and nice. So we've known him a long time. So luckily for us, he was able to do that mask quickly.
Yeah,
since we had no time.
Oh, he did such a great job.
That's so
super
cool.
creepy.
That's so cool. Joe, Sarah, we are about out of time. I want to say thanks for being so gracious with your time and coming on and chatting with me and learning more about your creative process and all the cool projects you guys got going on.
Well, we like these to be conversations rather than like a Q&A interview. And even our Q&As are the same. We just like to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you figured this out yet, but I like to talk. So I went from being the shy kid to someone that just monopolizes every conversation.
Excellent.
Yeah, I can't.
Presenting.
It's just the way I am.
Yeah,
It's the way my brain functions.
that's us classic introverts becoming extroverts. We extrovert all over everybody.
Yeah.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, you were always an extrovert.
No.
You were never shy.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, stick around for a few minutes, while we sign off. But again, thanks, for doing this, and then we can't wait to see you come, September 9th through the 11th at Colorado Festival of Horror. Yeah. Come and see.
We will be there,
guys. And Jed will be out with his mask, and oh god, that's going to be delightfully creepy.
Jed is going to be creepy.
Excellent. And just want to say, quick thanks to all our sponsors, to Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, our friends at Hellfire Entertainment. Thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media. And our friends at Groovy TV. And of course, Alien Donut Films. To Bill and Angela over there, thanks for putting up with my shit. And of course, to Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong, our producers. And to everybody out there who tuned in, thanks for all your support. And look out for each other, be kind to each other, and stay spooky. Remember, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.